You are talking about negotiating, and you are just the one of many in the house. This is
You know,
number one.
if my husband,
Please. Listen, I give you the time to
if
talk.
my husband,
Give me the time to talk. Give me the time to talk, please. I gave you time, right? Let us be polite. I gave you the time to talk. Finish your word. It's my time. And you said that if the husband, he ordered you to do something wrong, you do not agree with him. Now, if you don't agree with him in something right, he can beat you. Now, if he don't agree with you in something right, which means he is the wrong one, can you beat him?
if he is the wrong one?
Yeah, can you beat him? The same he do to you if you are wrong?
Give me an example.
As an example, you mentioned to me yourself an example. Your husband said to you, don't wear hijab, correct? And
Okay.
you said to him, I'm not going to obey you. Now, he is ordering you to do something wrong. Can you beat him?
Literally, I can beat him, but I won't do that. I'm just not that type of person.
So how come he can beat you?
Instead,
Okay, listen.
I will tell him why he's wrong.
I'm talking in a religious way. I'm talking according to Islam. The woman, she cannot beat her husband even if he's wrong. But he can beat you if you are wrong. So what kind of equalistic?
Sir, can you show me a verse where a woman cannot beat her husband?
Can you show me a verse that says
that women are not allowed to hit their husband?
The Quran only mentioned man beating his wives.
Or are you just making that verse up to try and prove a point that is not valid right now?
Listen, if the Quran never mentioned that the woman can beat her husband, this is mean you cannot beat her husband.
You asked to see a verse, and I just wanted to show you kind of what the Prophet really addresses towards beating. And I want you to see what I mean when I say that the beating is not to be vicious or severe or something that causes harm to the woman to the point where she cannot answer back to her husband, where she's weak. I want to show you something that addresses this issue that we're talking about, because you bring it up. You're not the first person, and I'm sure you're not the last, because I've been asked about many different types of verses in the Quran. But the thing is, people only look at one specific part of the Quran, and they focus on that, and they become negative towards it to the point where they are so close-minded, they don't look to the bigger picture. And they think that if men don't beat their wives, they're not Muslims. But that is not true, because men can find ways where beating cannot occur, where beating should not occur. And if a Muslim man does not beat his wife, that does not make him a bad Muslim. It's the opposite, because it shows that they have a bond, that they communicate first before anything.
Okay. The man he beat his wife, he's a bad Muslim?
I'm sorry?
The man who beat his wife, he's a bad Muslim?
If he beats her to the point where it's beyond the limits of what Islam allows, yes, then he is. Then he's not following Islam correctly, because he has to follow the rules. Because here's what I'm trying to say.
You see? You're trying to hide the truth.
If there are some Muslims, and I'm sure there are, maybe there are some Muslim men who say, okay, I'm going to beat my wife because the Quran says that, and they go too far, and they beat their wives, and she becomes extremely, bruised and hurt to the point where she's in the hospital.
So bruises are not allowed in Islam?
That is crossing the line.
Bruises are not allowed? Bruises are not allowed?
Sorry?
Bruises in the body are not allowed in Islam?
What is?
Like a man, he can beat his wife until she have bruises. This is not allowed?
I'm saying if he goes too far with his limit, if he gets out of control, and where he's hitting her...
What control mean?
Where he's hitting her, but he does not understand why he's hitting her. He keeps on going,
so if
and he loses control of himself, and he keeps hitting her.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't think people, they will start beating a woman just for no reason. Simply, the Quran says the reason. She is not obeying him. Because the Quran says, if she obey you, don't beat her.
That's why I wanted to redo this, so you could see kind of what I'm trying to get at.
Go ahead.
I think you're just focusing on it so negatively. I don't...
No problem. Go ahead.
I just don't think... Okay. It says... this is by the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam.
This is not Quran.
And...
This is Hadith.
This is what he addressed this about hitting and beating.
Okay, go ahead.
And he addressed this issue. And this is probably more clear than the verses you're reading right now.
No problem.
It says... He said... he said, you have rights over your wives, and they have rights over you. You have the right that they should not defile your bed and that they should not behave with open unseemliness. If they do, God allows you to put them in separate rooms and to beat them, but not with severity. If they refrain from these things and obey you, they have right to their food and clothing with kindness. Lay injunctions on women kindly, for they are your wards, having no control of their persons. So he specifically and he repeatedly said kindly to the women. This indicates that the beating is not to be vicious or severe.
What is the hadith in Arabic?
And that women also have rights over their husbands, just as much as the husbands have rights over them.
What is the hadith in Arabic? Can you say it to me in Arabic?
In Arabic?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
I would be happy to.
Read it for me in Arabic.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up right now. Okay.
Because I don't think the word kindly exists there, but no problem. Now, it might take you a while before you get it. This is what you told me. Number one, it's mean the Prophet, he agreed with beating women, and he is saying kindly. What kindly? I don't know. You just said don't make bruises, you know. This is what kindly in Islam. In hadith of Sahih al-Bukhari, the book of address, hadith number 5447, Raf'a divorced his wife, whereupon Abdul Rahman, you can read the hadith, and he did beat her until he made her clothes her skin greener than her clothes. The Prophet.
Okay, can I comment on that? Because I know which verse you're talking about.
This is not a verse. This is a hadith. This is Sahih al-Bukhari.
Okay.
He did beat her.
I know which passage you're talking
greener
about.
than her clothes. Go ahead.
Can I comment?
Go, sure.
Okay. What I want to say about that is that many Muslims will do things their own way, how they see it, so they can interpret the Quran their way. But in the end, no one can judge them except God in the end. So let's say the guy beat his wife until she died. No one can say he's a bad Muslim or a good Muslim except God. So whatever they do, that's their life, that's their choices. What I'm saying to you is the Quran says the Quran never said to beat your wife to the point where she cannot move, where she's physically unable to perform, to get up or do anything. And nowhere in the Quran does it say until you beat her until she dies or anything like that.
Never say to,
and so no one is a judge of anybody, even if the person committed a great sin such as murder. No one is a judge of that person except God, because that person has an opportunity to repent, to ask for forgiveness, no matter how great the sin is. And he has an opportunity, and Allah is most merciful.
Yeah, Allah
and He is able
to. Allah is not merciful. Sorry for that. But this is not our topic now.
Oh, Allah is very merciful.
No, He's not. Because
if you pray with all your heart, if you really mean it, if you really feel bad about what you did, He will forgive you.
If your God is merciful, He should not allow the man to use their violence against women. He should say to them, if you beat women, I'll take you to hell. And this is how you stop those Muslim men from insulting and abusing those weak women. You know, Allah
He created humans in a way where we make mistakes, and Allah knows we make mistakes. That's why He knows we will ask for forgiveness. If He made us perfect, He would not even.
I put you on hold. Sorry for that. Please, we cannot talk at the same time. I will let you. I want to hear you, but we cannot talk at the same time. Okay? No. Listen to me. The hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, and you are free to talk.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you, and you're trying to.
We cannot talk at the same time, correct? Do you agree? In the same time, we cannot talk.
I agree, but you didn't let me. Let me say my
say. Let me say my say. In that hadith, the man, he did beat his wife until he made her skin greener. Did the Prophet say to him, shame on you? Did the Prophet say to him, I'm going to punish you? Did the Prophet say to him, don't ever beat her like this again? No, actually he took the side of the man and he told her that he is right and you deserve it. The woman, she don't want the husband, she don't want to stay with him, she don't want to even have sex with him no more, and she is accusing him that he cannot have sex. The man, he is in response, he is beating her until her skin became greener than her clothes.